Hey, is Billy around?
Right here, man.
Hey, Billy, it's Craig Marshall from marshallofrock.com. Thanks for joining me, man.
How are you, man? Thanks for having me.
Hey, no problem. I'm doing okay today. Hey, a man of many talents, bassist, award-winning producer, mixer, engineer, a man who's worked with a who's who of legendary rock artists. I thank you for taking the time out. And why don't we just start right off the bat with the project that you're working with right now, with the legendary art rock band Nektar. What's going on with
Yes.
Nektar, man?
Well, they are right behind me in a vehicle, and we're driving to rehearsal right now. We're playing a show tomorrow night in San Juan Capistrano. And I just finished producing their record, which came out great, and I played bass on all of it.
Ah.
And really exciting, energetic, new, vibrant sounding record from those guys. And as I said, we're just on our way to rehearsal right now, so they're following me right now to the rehearsal spot.
Right on.
I'm looking at them in my rear view.
Hey, well, the new album, Spoonful of Time. They got a DVD. You guys got a DVD out too, Space Rock Invasion. Why don't you give our listeners a little bit of a background on the band Nektar in case they don't know what it's all about?
Well, I mean, Nektar is a legendary prog band that was formed around 1969 and has been going ever since. I think this is their 19th record that they've made in their career. And as far as those other two records you spoke of, I'm not really involved with the production on those.
Okay.
But this new record I can speak to, because I produced that. And it's, as I said before, it's just very energetic and vibrant and great new songs. The band's playing great, and I had the honor and privilege of playing bass all over it. So I'm a happy camper with the way this has turned out.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, you got the gig tomorrow night. Is there any touring plans after the album release that we can expect?
Yeah, well, it's early going, but there's dialogue going on right now for that. So I'm sure there'll be some sort of formal announcement coming soon once there's some secure dates going on. But right now, this gig that we're doing here was just kind of came out of the blue. We figured while they were here in town that they wanted to play a gig, so we just got it together down at the Coach House for this one show. But I think there'll definitely be more once this album's released, and there's stuff coming up, and so as I said, there'll be dates posted once it becomes a little more official.
Okay, okay. Now, you've spent time in Yes, Toto. I mean, the list goes on and on. I know that there's another project that you've spearheaded as producer, mixer, and engineer, the Prog Collective. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that project, too?
The Prog Collective, it just came out August 14th, and it's an all-original record that I produced and wrote and asked a bunch of proggy musicians onto, and it's just filled to the brim with great players. And it's a very exciting project to create something new and original with all of these participants involved. And it's just a really interesting record. I think fans of prog are digging it. It's very sort of adventurous in the way that it's arranged and composed. So it makes it a unique individual project,
Yeah, yeah. Well, who's some of the artists that are on the album with you?
Let me grab a copy of the CD here so that I can refresh. But off the top of my head, Rick Wakeman, Tony Levin, Tony Kaye from Yes, Peter Banks, Larry Fast, Colin Moulding from XTC, bass player from XTC, Alan Parsons, John Wetton, Chris Squire, Gary Green from Gentle Giant, Annie Haslam from Renaissance is on there.
Wow.
Jerry Goodman from Mahavishnu, Dixie Dregs, Richard Page.
Wow, who's who?
And David Sanchez is playing keys. Yeah, it's stacked to the brim, and everybody did such a great job. It's just the entire project is just shining in every corner. So I'm quite proud of it.
Yeah, yeah. Now, besides that, I know you've worked on many All-Star Tribute albums. There's a long list: Skinner, UFO, Thin Lizzy, even going way back to Queen, AC/DC, Stevie Ray Vaughan. I mean, there's a long list. I know there's another tribute album out right now that you're behind, the Supertramp tribute. That's Songs of the Century, All-Star Tribute to Supertramp. That's out there too. That came out the same day as the Prog Collective, didn't it?
Yeah, I seem to always be making these kinds of records, and
yeah, you must be working 24/7 in your studio, it seems, huh?
yeah, well, I'm a studio junkie and workaholic, and you put those two together, and I don't sleep much. It's, my studio's in my house, so I have the luxury of sort of working right up until I'm about to pass out, and then just fall into the bedroom. So it makes it really easy.
Yeah, well,
to get creative,
Yeah, I know on that album also there's some of the aforementioned artists that were on the Prog Collective, but also additional artists like Mickey Thomas and Joe Lynn Turner, Robbie Krieger.
Yeah.
Now, were they in the room with you? I mean, did they come to your home studio, or how does that work?
Some of the guys come to me who are local and who are into coming over and recording. Some have their own studios, and quite frankly, because of the geography involved, it would be pretty expensive to put it together any other way than to do it via file share. So it's kind of a half and half mixture. Anyone who's sort of LA based and local who I know usually ends up coming over to my pad and we record. And anybody else, I just farm it out to them. A lot of stuff done overseas.
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you definitely have a connection with the band. Yes, you spent time, and yes, you've done a lot of work with the band in all facets. Why don't you share your connection with them? I mean, I know you're real good friends with a lot of the members. Now that connection's lasted over 20 years, right?
Yeah, God, it's a long time now. Hang on one second. Here's Roy Alberton coming to find out what am I doing on the phone. He's wondering. Hang on one second.
All righty.
Hey, Roy, just doing an interview and then we're on our way. Doing an interview real quick and then we're on our way. Just got okay. Okay, cool. I met those guys in Yes back in 1987, 88. When I was working on my record World Trade. They were without a singer. John Anderson was doing ABWH at the time. And the guy who signed my band to the label ended up becoming the president of a record company where Chris was at the time without a lead singer. And so that those politics aligned, and they kind of came over to me and offered me that job. And I passed on it because I wanted to do my own thing. But the relationship remained, and obviously over the years developed, and I wrote songs, produced songs, toured with them as a sideman, and then eventually joined as a full member, pushing the politics and the music around, as a full member with the band.
Wow, wonderful.
And then departed in 2000 just to kind of move on and carry on doing other things again, But have remained friends with all of them over all these years, and it is, as you said, I mean, from 87, 97, 2007, it's over 2 decades worth now.
Wow, that's wonderful, man. That's wonderful. Hey, I know you've, which I looked at your bio. You've done, work with Yes and a lot of other, prog type stuff. But you've also worked with a lot of harder rock groups. I saw Rat, Jack Russell, even Motorhead, some Dangerous Toys on there. How does that transition work? I mean, how did that come about? Through relationships, and this guy's a friend and that guy's a manager, and they connect with me, and, one thing leads to another. And, quite frankly, the Motorhead thing came through Yes, because the manager who I was working with while I was dealing with Yes, Phil Carson, was dealing with Motorhead on his label, the same label as Yes was dealing with, and he asked me, would you jump in and produce a track or two? So, they come about in strange ways, these gigs, but they always sort of flower into other things and other opportunities. And, I pride myself on being able to jump into any genre and kind of hold my own. So I don't fear going into that any world, musically speaking. So the transition into rock and roll or prog or dealing with classical stuff or jazz, whatever, is all very kind of familiar, Right on. Well, one question about Motorhead. Do you have any Lemmy stories you could share?
Oh man, the guy's just a rock and roller. He's so dedicated to his craft, and he shows up and does his work and gets on with it and records great stuff. And he was really fun to hang out with. He's definitely a hardcore rock and roller. I mean, I come from a different world than that. I don't have a tattoo. I'm too afraid of needles. you know.
Yeah.
But it was really fun working with him and Wurzel, who passed away unfortunately. He was a blast to work with at the time, and all those guys. It was fun, you know. The only crazy story I can remember is making the record. We were working on Hellraiser 3 for the movie, doing the title track, and the LA riots were breaking out, just going crazy, and we were in the center of it in Hollywood. And I just remember looking at him and going, you know, man, I think we have to go home. I think we better get out of the war zone. And but I just found it ironic that we were working on Hellraiser as all hell was breaking loose. Thinking, wow, this is bizarre. You know?
Yeah.
Summoning it.
Yeah, bringing it on. Wow. Hey, the business model, you know, in the music world, man, it's definitely been flipped upside down. You've seen all the changes. It seems like this model for somebody like you with a home studio, I mean, you're always seemingly busy right now, which is a great thing. You've always been busy through the whole, you know, all the years of that you've been in the music biz. But what's your take on, you know, how things used to be in the music world as compared to now?
Well, I think that the advent of recording and technology has made it affordable for people to start pursuing their dreams without having to find a big pile of money to get on with it, you know? So for the average artist who's just trying to record and get things going, it's never been a better time, because the flexibility in all the recording technology and the ways that you can do things with, you know, amp models and whatnot. You know, a guy in his apartment can sound like Led Zeppelin without bothering the neighbors. You know.
Yeah.
So I think for that it's actually quite liberating and inspiring for artists. And by the same token, I mean, obviously recording studios have been hit hard by this whole new technology, and that's changed. You know, people don't need to go to recording studios like they once did. So that's changed everything. But I think for the most part, you know, this technology wave that we live in now is really great for the artist. And then taking it further onto the internet and being able to promote yourself by making a video and putting it on YouTube and linking it here, there, and everywhere. There's, you know, you're in control of your own destiny.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I think it's quite cool. Circa and my solo albums we release, you know, ourselves. And we have a direct link to the fans. They can go to circahq.com or they can go to billysherwoodhq.com and they can order the stuff directly from the site and get it customized, autographed, whatever they want, and have a personal sort of touch to the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I think they dig that, you know, and it keeps you connected to the fan base, which is quite cool too. There's a direct link. I mean, I'm on Facebook all the time. I admin my own page, and you know, I get a lot of work from people who just reach out saying, "Hey, I have a band, and would you mix my record for me?" And you know, I end up mixing a lot of projects that way for people, and trying to help them move forward as best I can as well. And you know, by making it affordable for people to be able to kind of get some help, professionally speaking, and move on. So,
yeah,
so I think it's all good. I think it's all good.
Right on, man. That's definitely wonderful. Caring about the music for sure. I want to ask you one more question here before I let you get going. What created the spark for your passion for music? How did that come about?
Well, my parents were entertainers, and it's all I've ever known. I mean, you know, one of my first memories of music was sitting under my dad's white grand piano while he was rehearsing with his Dixieland jazz band, and my mom's playing drums, and they're getting ready to do their gig.
Cool.
So, yeah. You know, music was just a thing in our house. My brother's a great keyboard player, songwriter, and it's just, you know, music's been one of those mainstays, and I kind of just, it seemed the norm growing up. It felt like this is what I'm destined to do, so I'm going for it, you know?
Yeah. Hey, I read somewhere your godfather was the late Milton Berle. Is that right?
Yeah, Milton Berle was my godfather. He and my dad were really good friends, and, you know, that's how that connection happened, was they were just really good friends over the years, and so he asked him, and Milton said, yeah. So
cool.
It's pretty bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah, that is cool. Did you ever get to go to like any tapings or anything special that Milton was doing when you were a kid?
No, I never. He was doing things elsewhere. We were in Vegas. You know, my dad and mom were at the time doing stuff in Vegas. You know, but no. I saw him on a few occasions, and he was always incredibly warm, and you know, he loved my dad and my mom, which was always heartwarming to hear from him. You know, so. Yeah. It was quite cool. Cool.
That's wonderful, man. Well, hey, I want to thank you for all of your musical contributions over the years. It's great to talk to you, and it's certainly, I can feel your passion for the music, for each and every project that you do, and your love for the music.
Yeah,
that's most importantly, your love for the music. And just want to just tell you to keep on keeping on. And the show tomorrow night at the Coach House in San Juan Capistrano. Get some tickets if you can. And Billy Sherwood, HQ.com, right?
Yes, sir. BillySherwoodHQ.com or CircaHQ.com, and you can find your way to all the music.
Okay. And the Facebook page is just Billy Sherwood?
Yep, Billy Sherwood. And, you know, unfortunately, I'm maxed out at 5,000, and that's the way Facebook does it. But, you know, I get messages, so if anybody's out there needing to contact me, just, you know, send me a message.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, it was wonderful to talk to you. I appreciate you taking the time, and now I'll let you get going to rehearsal. Have a great rehearsal, and definitely kick some butt tomorrow night, and I'll be looking forward to the next Nektar album, as we all will as well. Okay.
Right on, man. Well, I'll talk to you soon. I appreciate it, and taking the time and everything. So thank you.
No problem, Billy. You have a great day. Okay.
Take care, man. Ciao.
You too. Bye-bye now.